Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, welcome back, and today we have Byun versus Armani right here on Blackburn. So we see good old Byun with the depot at the ramp, no workers on the map, so we're looking at a more standard game here. Seen him do this before actually, where he builds a single barracks close to this area for two reasons. One, it allows him to get the Reaper faster in his opponent's base, I guess. And two, it might give your opponent a bit of a shock. If they fly across the map with the Overlord and they go, whoa. Or they go like, whoa, there's nothing at the ramp. But it's not going to be the case, as Armani is going to be scouting around for any potential proxies. So I will not figure out that the barracks is in the wrong position. There's a second SCV coming over here as well. That's for a second barracks. Okay. So a little bit of 2-Rex Reaper action is honestly a build that we don't see a whole lot anymore. We sometimes see a 2-Rex Proxy Reaper, but the standard 2-Rex Reaper or even 3-Rex Reaper is something we haven't seen in a very long time. And the last time I properly saw this played was probably also Byun. And that was at, well, I guess it was BlizzCon 2016, so Byun saying, you know what, the last time I played Proxy 3-Rex Reaper, I'm pretty sure I won BlizzCon. How about I start playing it again and see what happens? I'm not quite sure if Blackburn is as good a map as the maps we had back then, but surely with the control that Byun has, it should be viable. Hopefully, otherwise he wouldn't play it, right? If he's gonna get absolutely pooped on right now, I'd be a little bit disappointed. You'd hope that he still knows how to control these bad boys. First Reaper here is popping out right now. Second Reaper also on the way already, and we're gonna see some triple Rex production. Now, this isn't necessarily an all-in. People will look at this, they say, wow, 3 barracks on 1 base, that has to be all-in. No, it's just a really heavy pressure build. And by constantly trading and forcing out links out of your opponent, this build can actually put you ahead economically, however weird that sounds. It also sometimes allows you to just straight up kill your opponent with your first 2 medevacts that you get, or just initially with the Reapers. And here there's 6 links being popped out for Armani. That's a decent amount of links, usually you only see 4. He's gonna end up losing 1 link as well. Very good control on this Reaper out of Byun. Now Reaper number 2 is here as well. And I think Armani will need to immediately start either a Spine, or I guess in this case a Roach War, and I'm also kind of okay with. I thought Spine was the more common response. And then what you would do, at least back in the day, is you would use your speed links to pick off reinforcements. So any reinforcing Reapers would have to stay at home because you would have speed links. And then with Queen Spine you would hold the Reapers off. That kind of was the initial plan, if I recall correctly. But we see a Roach Worm being built here. Oh, this Queen is taking a fair amount of damage. I like that Armani, the moment this got transfused, started tanking the Reaper shots with the second Queen. Needs to be careful though that he is capable of continuing tanking with the Queen that has no energy right now. You don't want to start tanking shots with a Queen with energy. And we see that even though Byun right now is on a very low worker count, Armani is as well. 25 workers. Sure, there's triple hatchery, so the moment these bases do end up getting saturated, or there's enough drones to saturate these bases, Armani is going to be a little bit ahead. See a couple of creep tumors coming down as well. 1 tumor in the main base. Wouldn't mind a tumor on the low ground as well to make that defense on the third a little easier. 10 Reapers are out, and the Marine production starts right at this point. Tech lab for Stim. Most likely a couple of reactors will be built later on as well. We'll have to see exactly what Byun's plans are going to be. He has a crap ton of Reaper, and that's a good start. 10 Reapers, come on. Show us some magic. Dance for me. Do something fun. Like poking him with a stick. It's like the 5-year-old that's knocking on the glass at the zoo for the monkey to do some tricks. Do something fun. That's what I'm like here. Come on. Lose some Reapers. Alright, lost 1 Reaper. Took a lot of damage on the second one. And I think only managed to get a link there. Good start here for Armani, honestly. And perhaps Blackburn wasn't quite a map where this is the strongest. Or perhaps this strategy just isn't as good anymore. And Zerg's got a lot better at defending it. I mean, there's still 9 Reapers going around. Oftentimes you wouldn't really get a whole lot of damage back in the day, if I recall correctly. But then with your first drop... Oh, wait, what is this? Holy crap. This is a build order. So rather than going into the 2 medevac that I kind of was expecting to see. We're going to be seeing something very different. 2 Reapers for a Queen. It's not a great trade for Byun. Lose a little bit of momentum with these Reapers. We're going to be seeing Banshees with Cloak. Lair is on the way. It's going to be done before Cloak is done. The question is, will he blindly start an Overseer? You have to be pretty wild in the head to immediately start an Overseer. Now, Armani is quite a wild cookie. I can assure you guys that, but... I am not entirely sure how much I like this Banshee. I mean, it's just going to delay the real pressure that Byun will be capable of putting on, right? It's going to be way less Marines. Which means... oh, it's also tanks. Is this a Banshee siege tank Reaper Marine push? This is the type of build we saw being played in Wings of Liberty. Where you just push across the map with stim, no combat shield. Really, 2-3 Banshees and a tank and a half. Then you win the game, congratulations. You now are the champion of the MLG. It's like, oh, I made this build yesterday. It's like, yeah, it's pretty crap as well. Which of course we realized 10 years later. But at the time it was all legendary and revolutionary. Lots of gas here being mined. I feel like Armani should be a little bit suspicious of that. It's going to be capable of scouting what's in the main base as well. Where's these Banshees? Okay, Banshee already has been doing a lot of damage. I missed that. So did Armani. 7 workers have gone down. Armani's still just up 20, 30 supply though. Yeah, just legit 30 supply. This early game has been fantastic for Armani. And even though he lost way too many workers to this Banshee, I still kind of like this position. I think that if Armani keeps chasing, he can get this. Oh my god! It was gonna run out of energy. And with this slow zone, I think he could have gotten a lot more shots on. I'm not sure it was 100% kill, but it feels like it perhaps could have been. This Banshee is also getting a bunch of workers. And although the supply for Armani is good... there we go. Thank you guys. I'm not even sure if he's ahead anymore. He's up 14 workers. The fact that his gold is done is very helpful. It's going to really boost his income to the skies. 1-1 on the way as well. Nah, Armani is fine. Who am I kidding? Yeah, roaches tend to inflate supply a little bit. Kind of what the roach is like what printing money is for the economy, you know? It feels good, but in reality, it's like thin air, basically. This roach. Well, it's not thin air, but it's like... In Dutch, we say baked air. Which means that it's practically nothing. Like, there is something there, but the substance is nothing. And you just baked some air. Cooked some air. That's basically what the roach is as well. It's a useless unit. Well, not completely useless, but, you know, it inflates the supply a little bit. Is what I tried to say in a very long-winded way. Alright? We all make mistakes. Sometimes I start a sentence, I'm not quite sure where it's going to end. 95% of the time it ends alright. And today we had one of these scenarios where we backed ourselves into a bit of a corner. And that's completely fine. Alright. Double changelings moving out on the map right now. You have the double drop hitting at 9 minutes. The classic stim drop 2 medevac hitting at 9 minutes. Who hasn't seen that before? Well, I for one haven't. Byun's gonna boost through these zones of slow into a spore and will need to immediately pick up. Loses 1 marine. We'll call that Marine Kerrigan. And 3 drones died against the Reapers. Are all Reapers dead now? Yep, all Reapers have died. And we see that the hive has already finished. I didn't even notice that. Viper's on the way. Lurker Den's about to pop off as well. We have Adrenal Glands on Lynx without any upgrades. Well, there's Carapace upgrades. No melee upgrades. So perhaps... what's this going to be? Ling Lurker or something? 3 roaches in the back will try to defend this mineral line. But Byun has different plans. He says, no, you need more than just 3 roaches. These Lynx are going to pop in. They'll also die. And these are the most optimistic battles that I've seen in a very long time. They're obviously not going to hit these medevacs. 4th base has finished up. And I think we're getting into a classic camping Byun game now. In which... Oh, that pile actually did manage to hit. A little bit scary there for Byun. Needs to be careful. Because the Vipers are out. And 1 parasitic bomb could kill this medevac. And probably could kill this medevac as well. Yeah, definitely. I believe a medevac survives with like 28 HP if it's full HP and you throw a parasitic bomb on it. Or 42. Like some weird number. I'm not quite sure why that is. Don't really understand how that works, but... Oh, Lurker's gonna get blasted here by these Marines. That's the first time that I see a pack of Marines take out a Lurker. Gonna be pretty happy with themselves. If I were them, I would take that win and now retire, go back home. Start claiming veteran benefits or something like that. Needs to be very careful here with the medevacs. And he's gonna fly home indeed. Yeah, Armani's gonna take it slow as well. I'm not quite sure if he realizes what type of position he's in. If he would realize what type of position he's in, I'd assume he'd focus a little bit more on creep threat, because this is going to be a more... a bit more of a passive game here. You've seen Byun play that a bunch. Ooh. None of these are going to hit. Very close. There's a Banshee in the back. Hello? We can take it out if we want to. Oh, here comes the parasitic bombs, and both of these are going to die. I actually killed it with a bile. And now this parasitic bomb will try to take out this Banshee. Banshee obviously will survive, but one more para bomb will take it out. Actually, maybe this Queen can. Hello? Queen? Hello? Hydra's gonna take care of this. Got a couple of roaches here. And right now Armani is trying to sell this baked air, the roach. He's trying to get rid of it. But he wants to get something for it, right? You can just throw them out, walk into a tank line. It's not too nice for the roach, but it's nice for your army value, because you can then create units that actually do damage. But he obviously wants to get some type of value for these roaches. This is good. This is a nice little trade here. He forces the lift off, and I like that Byun has the orbital command over here rather than the planetary. That allows him to lift this. This is a position that never gets attacked anyway, so why not, you can ask? It's gonna... well, that never gets attacked. The planetary, whenever this position gets attacked, the planetary will not be capable of assisting. Because when it gets attacked, it will get attacked from behind here with lurkers. That's just a fact. So I really do like this. I like this orbital a lot. We have an overseer in the main base. Do we have any Niduses? We have no Nidus networks. And the creep threat is extremely mediocre out of Armani. We can say a lot of good things about Armani. That he's a fast Zerg player. Look at that. Boom. That he's... has a cool playstyle, but not that he has good creep spread, at least not this game. His creep spread has been very, very poor even. As really Byun hasn't been capable of doing anything on the map for the past 5 minutes, 4 minutes maybe. And the creep is almost non-existent. There's 6 queens total, it's a very low queen count. There is a crap ton of larvae though. I think some of these bases are almost maxing out in larvae. I think the maximum is 18 you can have per hatchery. And if the game continues being as passive as it is right now, then perhaps we're gonna see that larva max out, which would be, well, not cool actually, kind of lame. And this is the setup that we've come to know from both Maru and Byun. Whenever they get into the late game, they really just like getting it into these heavy planetary setups. Lots of tanks, lots of ghosts. Sit back, relax, let the Zerg come at you. And if the Zerg doesn't come at you, guess what? Guess what? Well, actually, guess what? The Terran just tends to win, because Ghost trade way better into a late game than any of the Zerg units do. Bar maybe Infestor Broodlord. Here comes Armani one more time. With another little idea about denying this base. Tanks are being pulled in, Ghosts are being pulled in. EMPs are going to hit though, and this gets pushed back for now. There is a Nidus happening in the main base. Byun, you do need to start paying attention to that Nidus in the main base right now. There is units in position, but he isn't looking at it for whatever reason. Uh-oh, Byun. Oh, for whatever reason. The reason is that he's defending this. Now this Nidus comes up. Oh, lurkers are gonna burrow, and that actually means that another Nidus probably will be allowed up as well. All of these units need to start stimming back quickly. I don't think he can stop this Nidus from coming up. What is the amount of lurkers still in there? There's no lurkers extra in there. That would have been so great if he could have popped out 6-7 extra lurkers here right now. But instead we see Armani moving up. I wouldn't mind seeing a Nidus in this location as well. Then he can pop in between these two areas. That would be kind of cool. Instead we see double Spire coming out right now. So Armani thinks he can't do much anymore. He killed 20 workers. There's still 74 workers on the map though. It's kind of the story of the life of the Zerg here. Killing workers just for his opponent to build more. I like the fact that Armani has already taken this base, but he should be mining it with way more units. Because this is the base that is going to make the difference. Did Byun see the Banes morphing? I'm not quite sure if he did. Like, this is one of the 2 neutral bases. This map has 2 neutral bases. This base and this base. If the Zerg can take both of these bases, or just a full base and then half a base, it would be huge. Big ducks, by the way, here as well. Gonna be capable of taking out another 10 workers. Takes out a big chunk of the army as well. There's not that many workers being built right now. There's not that much money in the bank. If these workers are also gonna fall, then Byun might actually have a difficult time rebuilding his army if he loses any army. It seems like Armani is hyper focused on killing eco right now. And killing eco is very good, don't get me wrong. But an important part of killing the eco is that you also need to kill units. Otherwise your opponent will just stay maxed. And if you sacrifice units for eco the entire time, guess what ends up happening? Yep, you end up just losing because SCVs are really quite cheap. It just sucks that you don't get any extra money. This is good denial. Nidus goes down in the natural. Byun is paying attention. Marauder and Tank will take care of this. More Nidus networks are going down. 87 workers here for Armani. And a lot of these ghosts are actually falling. I like that. Do like that for Armani. Another lurker goes down here as well. Armani still has a crap ton of money. We have more banelings rolling in. 27 workers have gone down. This Nidus is going to fall. And yeah, Byun's just in the perfect position to deny these Nidus networks very consistently. Now we have to move forward here with these lurkers. Not that many lurkers with this topside army anymore. Banelings start attacking into tanks. These are some of the least cost-efficient trade in the century. Armani's still not mining full force from this base. And I think if you have this much pressure on your opponent, that really should be the priority. This base might finish, or this Nidus might finish actually. Oh, it is gonna finish. Is Armani gonna pop out? Is he gonna pop out? 1, 2. Yep, he's gonna pop out. There is Liberators here. We're gonna see another Nidus on the bottom side. I love this. I do love this. I really do like this a lot. 15 Corruptors. He's gonna go into Brute Lords. Does he even? Yeah, he has Great Aspire. This is a surprise Brute Lord switch. And usually I'm not a huge fan of Brute Lord switches before you mined out your part of the map. But in this case, yeah, why not? I love that. Yeah, for sure. I think that Byun might have realized that something funky is going on there. As he starts scanning, he's like, hey, wait a second. Your lurker count is very small. What is kicking off here, buddy? You now have 5 broodies on the way. You have to scan in the main base. Sees the Greater Spire. Thors immediately start producing. What a readout of Byun. Didn't see any of the Corruptors. Didn't see really anything. But he already kind of knew. And then the scan, just by the fact that there was some pressure lacking here. There's not quite enough gas here for Armani, by the way. And now the question is, what is Byun going to do? Is he going to move out on the map? Force the broodies to kind of stay home? I feel like there's not enough creep spread to really have Brute Lords out, by the way. And now Armani, wishing that he had mined more from this topside base already. Could have probably mined like at least like 2-3k minerals out of here. And maybe 1k gas total if he was a little bit faster. Not quite the case this so far. Oh. Good scans out of Byun, huh? Sees the Brute Lords, and it's gonna tell him exactly what he needs to know. We'll be able to scan out this lurker. This is still being taken out, don't forget. Only +1 melee upgrades on these links. We also had a lot of banelings, of course, that kind of got wasted in a way. Where, sure, it's nice that you have banelings, but on the other side, the banelings didn't really do a lot of damage because they didn't have the extra upgrade. Well, they still did a lot of damage, but they could have done more. I'm really trying to say. These links are going to get blasted as well. This is one of the worst trades that I've seen in a long time. Not a good trade deal. And Armani currently 12k down in the resources lost. Is going to once again try to take that topside base. Has opened up the rocks for the bottom as well. So we now have Infestors with Neural Parasite. And after I've seen Dark go ham with a couple of Neurals on Ghost. I think it was against... Was that against Cure? Or against Maru? I think it might have been against Maru. Where I just kept... maybe even against Byun. I can't quite recall who it was against. He kept neuraling the Ghost and then EMPing the Ghost of the Terran. And there's no real cheat code to get quicker energy. So as a Terran you just need to wait. And there's a long period in which you're vulnerable in that case. Like a single neural can completely change the game. In that regard. 7 Vikings. 4 Thors. 12 Ghosts. This is going to be the army that... What a terrible run by again. Armani's just giving up links. For whatever reason. He did lose a bunch of his workers. And I think that's actually a positive. Because that means that his army now is going to get larger. Things that are bigger tend to be better. Especially in StarCraft 2. Liberator moving forward, and this lurker is gonna get taken out by this Marine Marauder Liberator squad. I think I just heard a nuke. This is world's most useless nuke. Attacking an empty base. But I guess you'd rather nuke something than nuke nothing. If this Liberator just flying straight over creep is also gonna... Hello? We could have thrown a parasitic bomb. It's gonna save the energy on the Vipers and instead says, you know what, I can lose a couple of workers. And the Spore will take care of that. Fusion core on the way here. Now you could think, is this BC's? But then you're mistaken. It's most likely just going to be for Liberator range. Also known, of course, as these advanced ballistics. Double gas being taken here. Really, Armani should be prioritizing the mining on these bases. I don't understand why he's not. Immediately, the moment these bases finish, you just give up mining on the far away bases, like this one. Like these minerals, there's no way you're not gonna get them, right? By the time your opponent gets over here, like the game's already over. So you start mining bases first that are going to be attacked first, especially if you're playing for a split map scenario. And the fact that Armani isn't realizing that, or at least isn't acting like he knows, is weird. Like this is a very basic concept, and he's not really playing by the concept. He's gonna lose the topside base again, and this is the goal of Byun, right? He just wants to keep denying these bases until Byun feels comfortable enough to take one of these bases and keep denying the other, and eventually try and take the other. But for Byun, really, just getting mining from one of the bases, majority of the games is going to be enough, because as we can see in the resources lost, it's 32k lost here for Armani and 19k for Byun. That means that, well, if these fights will keep going in a similar vein, which most likely they will, that's all going to be about the mining. These Vikings dying is actually kind of a big deal. There's not all that much anti-air. This could be a good fight here for Armani. Gonna start moving forward. A lot of these stores are in trouble right now. Yeah, this actually really sucks. Well, there's a lot of corruptors that are useless at this point. So I guess in some way that's nice, but I can still take out the Liberators maybe. This is going to be a very close fight, I think. There's a real possibility here that Armani just straight up wins the game here, or at least gets an insanely good trade. Forces the lift off. We have the Queens moving into range. Oh, a lot of these ghosts are being cloaked right now. We need to move forward here with a couple of these abduct units, what are called Vipers. Abduct indeed is being used. Completely empty right now, the energy there. Fight so far hasn't been brilliant, but the Brood Lords are still alive. Where's the rest of the army? I feel like these infestors should have been here already. Can we get a couple of neurals? 1, 2, 3 neural parasites going down on the Thors. The ghost count is basically 0 at this point. 10 Brood Lords being morphed aggressively. Armani's going for the throat right here. Needs to start building units behind us. Here we go. 34 links are being built. +2 has finished on these links. More Brood Lords in production right now. And the anti-air for Byun is completely lacking at this point. He has no gas left. There's enough resources for Armani to continue building things. He's going in with a massive Brood Lord push here. 16 Broods. And the only anti-air is 12 Marines, 4 Ghosts, and 5 Thors. No, you need to keep going, you clown. I mean, Armani. Come on. Fight. Fight. There we go. Okay, a couple of transfuses. I guess he was waiting for reinforcements, but the reinforcements aren't showing up. He needs something on the ground. Where's the links? Oh, the links are all stuck on top here. I guess he's waiting for them and doesn't quite realize, or maybe he was busy dealing with some run by that I didn't see. Yeah, he needs to keep pushing right now, because he lost so much in... yeah, maybe the fight was actually kind of okay. I think he won that fight. Like, even cost efficiency. That's pretty crazy. That's really impressive, actually. That almost never happens. Killing those Vikings before the fight was obviously a huge deal. And now, Byun actually is on a lower worker count. And if Byun is allowed to max out again, which I think he might just be. It's about 4... Oh my god, there's like 1600 gas left here. And there's 1600 gas left here as well. So yeah, it's gonna be like 3.6 to 4k gas. Still that Byun can get from these mining bases. And now Byun is pushing forward. I think Armani actually is in a bit of trouble. I actually think Armani's in a whole lot of trouble. He's in maxed. Doesn't quite get anything. The Marine's doing a lot of damage, cleaning up almost all of these broodlings before they even land. Yeah, the damage output of these marines is so good against the broodlings. It's very, very painful. I mean, there is +3 on air, but the ground, of course, only on +2 attack. Yeah, this brood is just not strong enough the moment there's a lot of marines or Hellions or Hellbats. That was a good fight for Byun. But his topside base is mining. And I feel like there might be some potential when it comes to the minerals. Like I thought that gas was going to be the limiting factor, but I'm starting to realize right now, a little bit slow, I do admit, that it could be minerals as well if this base gets denied. Sadly for Armani, I don't think he can deny that base. I wouldn't mind to see a switch into lurkers at this point in the game, but Armani doesn't really have the money to pay for that, I think. Yeah. Once these mules start raining out of the sky, I mean, we have 9 orbital commands. Look at the amount of energy in these things. And there's still 2 orbital command centers as well that could be going ham. Okay, this base is gonna get taken out. We really need a rain of mules though, here we are. Just a couple. Bang, bang, bang. Like 20 to 15 mules or so. I think he has it in it. He could do it. But maybe he doesn't believe he needs to. Just wants to play it safe with loads of stands. More ghosts on the way as well. Still has a nuke in storage as well. Always nice to have one of those behind your back, hiding from the opponent. If you ever need it in some type of weird stalemate situation, you're gonna boom, throw out the nuke. They'll be surprised to have to move this force. Bottom side base gets taken out. This top side probably is going to get mined. Well, at least a fair amount here for Armani. Armani's gonna keep trying things with these links. It's not going to be capable of getting these ghosts. Even if he gets this around, there's still cloak available. So, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a suicide mission, honestly. You're going to be walking into a wall and marines can just come back. Yeah. Yeah. Armani's in a lot of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. The only way that Armani wins this game right now is by taking very good fight with Infestor Broodlord and fighting around this bottom side base. If he outmines his opponent, which is perhaps still possible, he can win this game. If he gets one base up over his opponent. The problem is that Byun is now going to try to take this base. Byun is up 40 army supply. And this is not a crap army. Well, there's 33 marines. But there's a lot of Thors as well. And there's really nothing in here that I see for Armani where I'm like, ooh, that's cool. I'm glad you have that. You know, it's like, ooh, that's really gonna give your opponent trouble. No, actually, it's the opposite. Everything Byun has is going to give Armani trouble. A lot of snipes are going down. All of these brutes are falling before they even get to shoot. The cloak ghost move does it again. GG gets called. And Byun wins this banger of a game here on Blackburn. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we'll see you all next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.